Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Sid Alpha and welcome to Line of Sight, the weekly news roundup video for exclusively games. There's been a great deal to talk about this week and no shortage of topics to be able to choose from. But first of all, you have my apologies for last week's video being uploaded much later than usual. There seemed to be a bit of a back-end issue that had to be resolved, which caused an out-of-ordinary delay. Secondly, as many of you may well know, I record these videos on Sunday for the Exclusively Games team to upload and post on Mondays. So as I'm recording this right now, it is my 40th birthday, and I'm choosing to spend the majority of my birthday here with all of you, as these videos typically take about 7 to 9 hours to create. I say that because you all seem to be among the best and most supportive YouTube commenters on the internet, and I really enjoy showing my appreciation for you all. Lastly, this weekend was E3 2019, or I should say this week is E3 2019, which provides a metric ton of new information. However, as everyone and their cousin are covering E3, I myself was content to merely live tweet the presentations on Saturday and Sunday. I decided that I wanted to cover non-E3 related stories, that way it's not simply more of the same of what you've been bombarded with all weekend. Although, if you are looking for more news stories, don't forget to check out the website over at exclusivelygames.com for multiple new gaming news stories daily. Also, if you enjoy these videos, show your appreciation by sharing them on Twitter or Facebook, and maybe drop a like on it if you think I did a good job. Now that we got that squared away, let's take a look at what's on the agenda for this week. THQ Nordic has announced they will be releasing Destroy All Humans in 2020. Steam Database discovered what the new Steam design will look like. Command & Conquer Remastered shows a glimpse at the new UI. Activision Blizzard pulls the plug on the second attempt at a Starcraft shooter. And Bethesda announces that they will finally begin shipping the Fallout 76 canvas bags. And now that we're all queued up, let's get started. Many gamers remember the little green man Cryptosporidium from the original Destroy All Humans, a campy little game from Pandemic Studios in 2005. And while Electronic Arts bought Pandemic and subsequently shut it down 4 years later in 2009, Destroy All Humans is a game that is looked on with fondness by many gamers. And as 2019 seems to be a year with a ton of remakes, THQ Nordic kept with that path and have announced that they will be releasing an exact remake of Destroy All Humans that will be set to release in 2020. Destroy All Humans itself is set in the late 1950s, with the alien Cryptosporidium searching for his clone and also harvesting DNA from Earthling brainstems as it is needed by his species to maintain their immortality. The release trailer features Crypto making use of a Rammstein song, which gives them 100 bonus points in my book, in order to lure us hapless Earthlings into a group that can be more easily exterminated, which is very much in keeping with the original game's true intended purpose, which is mayhem and destruction. Next up, we have a new look for Steam coming. With the advent of Epic Games' timed exclusives and GOG working on their new unified game launcher, Valve needs to do something to step up their game or risk being deposed as the current undisputed kings of PC digital distribution. Back in January, Valve's Tom Bowie posted on the 2018 Year in Review blog post in which they outlined all of the changes they made to the Steam client during that year. Many of those changes involved content filtering and additional tools for Steam curators to be able to better weed out fake games, which is Steam's term for asset flippers. At the end of the blog post, they had 2019 and beyond, with what they expected to accomplish this year and moving forward. Among those included the Steam PC Cafe program and Steam China, along with a Steam library update that would make use of the new technology that was created for the Steam chat that has already been released. This new UI could be a lot closer than you might think, as evidenced by Steam Database, or SteamDB's recent post on Twitter, in which they state, "A work-in-progress version of the new Steam client interface leaked through an update to the Chinese CSGO launcher. We're currently digging through the changes. We'll post more if we find anything noteworthy." In that Twitter thread, they showcased the following leaked screenshots. The new library homepage, what it looks like when you have a game selected, a reworked and revamped achievements area, and then they show you that you do still get to see which of your friends are playing a particular game, and they show off this video clip of the new Steam trading cards area that shows a new pop-out animation for the trading cards themselves. While it would seem the new client may be ready to go visually, we have no idea at this point in time how much back-end work is going to be needed, and the new Steam client look does not currently have a release date announced. But if I know Steam, they'll just drop it on our heads out of the blue one day and then put out a blog post outlining the new features. Now, our next story, I will admit, is only here because I got excited about it, and if you can't share a bit of excitement about games on a gaming channel, where can you? In November of last year, it was confirmed by Electronic Arts that Command & Conquer Tiberian Dawn and Command & Conquer Red Alert were getting a full 4K remaster under a collaboration with Petroglyph Entertainment, which was founded by ex-Westwood staff. The original announcement made by EA's Jim Vasella confirmed that they would be working with Petroglyph, including Joe Bostic, the co-creator of Command & Conquer, Steve Tall, Mike Legg, and they even managed to get Frank Klepacki back as the game's composer and audio director. This remaster will include a couple of UI element upgrades and streamlining that will still keep a close eye on maintaining the aesthetic and feel of the original games. This image is from the original Command & Conquer, where anyone who has played the original game knows all too well the sidebar to which I'm referring. Well, in an updated post on the Command & Conquer subreddit, Jim Vasella showed off a preview of the remaster's sidebar. He also posted a quick discussion on this design, stating, "One of the most requested improvements was to reduce the need for scrolling the sidebar as much as possible. A key suggestion on how to accomplish this was to introduce the build tabs from Red Alert 2 and Tiberium Wars into the classic UI. We have thus decided to embrace this suggestion, and you can see the build tabs present in the associated preview image. However, because of the construction queue rules of the original game, we wanted to keep all buildings under a single tab, with associated tabs for infantry, vehicles, air, land, and naval, and support powers. To further support the goal of reduced scrolling, we have then designed the sidebar to fit 18 build buttons. The combination of these elements means you'll need to scroll much less, and along the way will benefit from many of the modern feedback elements of more recent CNC titles. And while production is now in full swing, there is no currently known release date, and there is likely going to be a great deal of work to be done before the games are ready. So, while we wait for the game to be released, I suppose the last thing that can be said on this matter would be this.
Philadelphia uplink successful. Welcome back, Commander.
Next up, we have Blizzard Entertainment and the cancellation of yet another attempt at a Starcraft first-person shooter. I say yet another because this is not the first time that Blizzard has axed a Starcraft shooter game. The first was Starcraft Ghost, which followed the Terran Psychic Nova and was announced in September of 2002 under development by Nihilistic Software. Nihilistic Software handed the project off to Swingin' Ape Studios in 2004. In 2006, Starcraft Ghost was placed on indefinite hold, and then in 2014, Mike Morhaime confirmed that Ghost was officially canceled. This most recent cancellation comes to us via Jason Schreier of Kotaku, who was tipped off by anonymous inside sources, which reminds me, if you happen to be an inside source, feel free to email me at sidalpha@sidalpha.com. I don't actually have any inside resources, so I'm interested to learn what they're all about. That article outlines how the unannounced game codenamed Project Ares, along with a mobile game, were canceled in favor of Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2. In that article, Schreier stated, "Nobody was laid off as a result of the cancellation, and according to 2 staff, Blizzard told the team that Ares was getting axed alongside a second unannounced mobile project so that the company could move many of them to the upcoming Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2, both of which are expected to be Blizzard's marquee announcements at this year's BlizzCon." Ares first entered development in 2017 as an experiment to see what the team could do with StarCraft on the Overwatch engine. An engine is a suite of tools and reusable code that developers use to make games, and Blizzard has been hoping to move as many games as possible on the same technology in order to make their infamously slow game productions more efficient. And while a StarCraft shooter might have sounded exciting to some, it would seem that one takeaway that can be gleaned from this news is that Blizzard is all in on the new Overwatch and Diablo video games. Now, for our final story this evening, or rather I should say today, it would seem Bethesda is finally going to start shipping out those canvas West Tek bags that so many people have been waiting on. And just to catch everyone up to speed, when Fallout 76 was first launched, they offered this Power Armor edition of the game that included a T-51B Power Armor helmet, various other goodies, and what is clearly labeled as a canvas West Tek duffel bag. This was a $200 limited edition package. When customers that bought said package received their items, they discovered that what they had gotten was a much cheaper and far less durable nylon bag instead. And one customer emailed into Bethesda and received the following response. "Hello, we're sorry that you aren't happy with the bag. The bag shown in the media was a prototype and was too expensive to make. We aren't planning on doing anything about it." As a result of the sudden and massive backlash over what was a pretty clear-cut case of false advertising, Bethesda first attempted to apologize and give everyone who bought the package 500 Atom points, in-game currency that is free for Bethesda to distribute. It was very quickly pointed out that 500 points would get you a country door and some succulents within the game. Chris Livingston of PC Gamer pointed out on Twitter that the 500 points on offer wouldn't even be enough to buy the Fallout 76 Postman skin that, ironically enough, has a canvas bag, as that skin would cost 700 atoms. Bethesda then capitulated and agreed to send replacement bags to anyone that had purchased the $200 package if they submitted a ticket. Then, Bethesda's system subsequently leaked and made available personal and private information on any of those that had submitted tickets to other Bethesda customers. However, 6 months later, Bethesda has finally announced that they would begin shipping the canvas bags this week, and given the rough time these gamers have had, I do sincerely hope that the canvas bags they receive are exactly as advertised. But that's all the time we have for you on this week's episode of Line of Sight. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. If you're interested in more of little old me, don't forget to check out my YouTube channel over at youtube.com/SidAlpha. Links in the description below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am Sid Alpha, and I'll see you next time.